Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum making their 6th All-Star appearances. Knicks teammates Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns. The first time that's happened for New York in 50 years to have 2 starters there. And then rounding out the starting 5, the lead vote getter, Giannis Antetokounmpo, with his 9th All-Star appearance. So again, the reserves, they will be named this evening, but we're impatient. We couldn't wait. So we made up our own. Chiney, we asked you and Perk here to pick the reserves in the East. For those of you playing at home, just a reminder, the parameters: name 7 players, 2 guards, 3 front court, 2 wild card. And the survey says...
let's see what it is.
I wasn't a very good Steve Harvey. I got to try it again. You agreed on 5 of the 7 players, it looks like here, in the Eastern Conference.
I'm happy with these, yes. Cade, absolutely. Mobley, Brown. Yeah, Trey leads the league, assists, right? And Garland.
Jaylen Brown, Trae Young. So that leaves 2 slots here left. Chiney, who did you take in those 2 slots?
Okay, my first selection was Pascal Siakam.
Okay.
I know that for a team that's 5th in the East, you look at him as being the most consistent piece out there, averaging 27 and I think, 3? He's played 45 out of 46 games, and so that's what gave me the edge over his teammate Halliburton.
Okay.
So I'm going Pascal. And then secondly, I have LaMelo Ball.
I
have LaMelo Ball. I feel like you got to give him a nod because you got to give the people what they want. The #1 vote getter, obviously not a starter, but to be a reserve, averaging 28 and 7. If you're trying to get eyeballs to the game, he's every kid's favorite player. You know what that is, going to schools and hearing kids say, I love LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
So I think, it wouldn't be bad to see him in the All-Star game because he is,
absolutely,
as a young player, one of the greatest showmen in the association.
Literally was talking to students last week. The first question I got, do you know LaMelo Ball? Perk, who are your 2? We see Chiney's. Who are your picks?
So, look, I got to show Dame Dollar some love because Giannis' greatness have been overshadowing what he's been doing. He's averaging 25 points and 7 assists right now, and he's been balling. He just haven't been getting that much love. Part of it is probably our fault. We got to show Dame Dollar some love because he's been doing this part. They just got to adjust the roster, but I gave him the nod. Secondly, I'm going down to Toronto. Up there to Toronto, should I say, up north. I'm going with Scottie Barnes. 20 points, 8 rebounds, 6.5 assists. The man has been balling. I know his team has been struggling. I know they're in the rebuild stage, but he's been putting up numbers and giving people the work. He's been rebounding at a high level and 6.5 assists. That means he's making people around him better.
Scottie Barnes, Dame, Pascal Siakam, LaMelo Ball. All right, now we move on to the West. That's where the starters a bit more seasoned bunched, right? They're headlined by LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. They'll also be joined by Nikola Jokic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, for a combined 57 All-Star appearances in the West. By the way, in the East, there are 28.
Wow.
Just in case anyone was wondering. So, Chiney, Perk, survey says you were aligned on 6 of the 7 remaining reserve
Oh, that's
positions.
pretty good.
So, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Edwards in the backcourt, and then in the front court, Jaren Jackson Jr., Anthony Davis will be joined by first-timers Jalen Williams, Victor Wembanyama. Not sure if we have a graphic for that, but that leaves 2 spots open for reserves here.
Okay.
Perk, I'm going to start with you. Who do you got in those final 2 spots?
Look, the first one, I got to show a big fella some love. I'm going Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. To me, John Morant is the engine of that team, but he's been the best player, in my opinion, in Jaren Jackson Jr. this season. Right, leading the team in scoring. He's been a force on both ends of the floor, doing what he's supposed to do in great fashion. Next, I'm going with the beard, James Harden. I did not expect the Clippers to even be in the conversation of the playoffs, but he is. He's there. And without Kawhi, with Kawhi missing a lot of this season, James Harden has been that system for Ty Lue and got them right in the thick of things, and he has been having monster moments in this short season, and his numbers look pretty damn good.
I'm not going to let you finish. Kendrick Perkins, where are you beaming in from right now? Where are you?
I'm in H-Town. Wow, what's wrong?
This is a team that has the 2nd best record in the West, and you do not have anybody representing them. That's why my snub is that man right there, Alperen Şengün. He's averaging 19, 10, and 5. He should be an NBA All-Star. They have a record of 22 and 6. When he gets a double-double, he has 28 double-doubles on the year. Now, I know they've had a lot of young stars surging. You have Jalen Green, you have Amen Thompson. But that guy, when the vote started, was pretty much considered a lock. Shame. Game of Thrones voice. Shame, 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 Kendrick Perkins. Houston has entered the chat.
It sounds like we need to bring in a grounded, maybe a view of all of this. Mr. Windhorst, you've heard the arguments. Whose side are you taking for reserves here?
Well, first off, I had Jaren Jackson Jr. on my starter list as part of my vote. So I'm in agreement with Perk on that particular one. Also, last night, the Clippers moved into a virtual tie for 5th in the West. I don't know if anybody saw, but Kawhi is back and balling.
Yeah.
So I recognize what's going on there. So I'm not mad at that choice, but Perk, I got to give the Rockets their due here.
Yes.
They are playing awesome basketball this last stretch. They've been great on the road. I'm not saying anything against James Harden. He has been there before. He has earned it this year, but we have to celebrate the Rockets at Alperen Şengün. And I think we're going to see more Rockets in the future. This is an up-and-coming team. Perk, you're ready to be home for some playoff games in the medium term.
Man.
The All-Star reserves, they will be named tonight, and we will find out who will be representing in the Bay.
NBA